you raise your legs and somebody said that some people when they are laughing they raise their legs. They don't understand why they do that when they are. They are just not normal natural thing, but you can bring pressure on your partner because you want him or her to conform to a particular code. It's like somebody, maybe you have a fiancé, the person is not a member of Christ. Then you are taking the person to come and say, look, when we go there, you don't be tibo. You just pretend when they are praying just to just be doing that so that they'll know that I've married a spiritual lady. The way you are doing, I mean, they will say I've gone to take a lady who is not spiritual. You know, that kind of pressure, it can bring conflict, because the woman or the man will tell you one day that, look, I can't do what you are asking me to do because that is not part of my system. And if even I can do that, it will take time. But you are putting pressure on me to conform. I get you. Yeah. And in every relationship, we must be mindful of that. Now, even sometimes, I remember there was one friend of mine who got married. The wife came from a Catholic background. And so then he said that when they got married, now the wife does not speak in tongues. I mean, this one is charismatic, this one is Catholic. I mean, you can see the difference. And the guy was more like, okay, one of the leaders, when I was the leader, she was also one of the leaders. Okay, so then he got married. Then within some few months, he came to church one day and then called me aside and said, I'm losing my marriage. I said, why? He said, my wife is not listening to me. She doesn't listen to me. When I say something, she doesn't listen. I said, what is going on? He said that, all night that we come, have you seen her at all night before? I said, no. He said, you know that this thing, because of this all night thing, we fought. I've been dragging her, Then I told her that maybe at the point the wife told him that, look, all night. Before we got married, was I going for all night with you? I was doing, because she's used to kneeling, getting up, doing this, the priest will say, then she will say after the priest, all this prayer, long prayer. She's not yet used to that. But there was pressure coming from the guy's friends and the community that he was in. The pressure was subtle because they see that you are audacious. Okay, so why is your wife not audacious? Whatever audacious means to them. So I told him that it has to be gradual. Never push things down her throat. Allow her to form her convictions. Model the life for her and love her. Let her know that you have a secret. And then she will fall in love with your secret and she will want to know what keeps you or what makes you do the things you do. Then you can introduce her. Say gradually. I say it's not wrong not to go for honor or to pray short prayer. It's not wrong. Okay? But she's not filled with the Holy Ghost. She doesn't speak in tongues. You can rattle the tongues, blah, 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 and go. But she has to process her words because she's praying with understanding. Then, demonic attack can also be a cause of conflict. Do you know that I said the other time that marriage, for instance, is one of the spiritual warfare platforms that the enemy is afraid of. So the enemy can bring attack and bring attack. And we must always know when the enemy starts bringing attacks. It will start in the form of thoughts. When you start thinking certain things about your partner, you must know that the devil is at work. I remember a drama I wrote for our children's ministries those years. And in the drama, there was a family. And the father was at work, and the mother was in the house, and there was a demon. We wanted to show the people how demons seek to make inroads into families, and how we can open the door for demons to come and attack families. So the man was at the workplace, and the demon went to the man and whispered into the man's ears and said, "Do you know that your wife, she doesn't respect you? Look at the way she talked to you this morning, and look at last 2 weeks what she did, and look at last 3 years what she did, and look at how she responded to ABC." And the man in the drama, as speaking to the man was just breathing heavily, which means that he was getting angry. And so he left everything and said, "I'm going." Then on the same stage, the other side was a woman in the house. Another demon was there. And the demon too started talking to the woman. This man is very selfish. Have you seen that? He's very selfish. Look at what he's doing. He did this, did that. And so the woman too had prepared her sermon. And the man too had prepared his sermon. And the two were coming to meet. And so when the man was coming, the demon was following him. And he was, "When you go, say this." And the woman too, the demon was there. So when the man entered the house, the two demons, they went and then they did high five. And they were standing there to watch. And the man and the woman were fighting. So as they were busy fighting, then the demon brought, it was supposed to be a hammer, but they got something else. And started hitting the children, hitting them. That drama, most of the parents who watched that drama, some of them till today, whenever they meet me, they talk about that drama. It was so clear that the devil can have access to your house when the husband and the wife are in conflict, because marriage is a spiritual warfare platform. That's why if you want to do deliverance, you must make sure that you make sure that your marriage is not opening the door for the devil, because it's a warfare platform. Okay, and the devil will attack the marriage. Now, he will not attack the marriage by maybe hitting you with something, but then by releasing thoughts that will make it possible for you, the two of you, not to get on well. Now, so how do we handle conflict? Some people handle conflict in this way. There's a conflict. The two of us, you have an issue. Then I make up my mind. I must win. In other words, I only see two opinions. The one that's wrong and mine. Now, that is a must-win situation. It will kill communication, and eventually, it will destroy the relationship. So you will protect your pride, but you will lose the closeness and the respect of your friend and your partner. There are some people who are opinionated. They are strong-willed. Some people are so strong-willed that you either take what I say or forget it. I can't be wrong. I'm always right. Like a friend of mine used to say, he said, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. He said, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. That attitude will destroy the relationship. So when you are resolving conflict, you should not go with the attitude of, I must win. Two people came to me, and the man said that, well, the reason why we have come to you is I want to, most of the things that she says, they are not important. It's like her arguments are always not right. Then I said that what you are doing and saying, that is a problem. That's why there's conflict. Because you look down on the person, that the person cannot say anything right. So when there's a conflict, then you are the one who must get into alignment. Me, I'm okay. You are the one who must change your mind and behave. You must conform because me, I'm okay. That's pride. That's pride. That will not help. Then, some people too will do this. They will withdraw or yield. There's conflict. Okay? Now, so we have admitted that there's conflict. Some people will say, okay, for the sake of peace, okay, yeah, it's okay, I'm at fault. Whatever, I'm at fault. That is not good. Do you know why? Okay. Number one, you will see that you would have kept the peace, but you would have buried your own needs. And number two, you are telling your partner that you don't have needs, and your needs are not important. So now you are looking for peace. So you say, oh no, okay, it's okay, I yield. It's not it's not every time that you must do that. Sometimes you can do that, but then if it becomes your practice, it's not going to help the relationship. When there's an issue to be resolved, let the issue go through the natural processes and resolve it. Okay? Don't brush it under the carpet and say, okay, well, I'm okay. You are not okay. You can say, well, I'm okay, but you may not be okay. Because what shows that you are okay is your attitude afterwards. There are some people, when they have issues with people and then you settle the issue, it even becomes worse. If, let's say, there's a conflict between Francis and Nat, and I try to settle the conflict, you will see that the rift becomes deeper. Because now, Nat is saying that I'm maintaining my distance. Okay, so unconsciously, Nat is saying to Francis, okay, so you reported me, okay, yeah, okay, let me keep to my distance, that's all. I mean, if I don't come talk to you, nothing bad will happen. So Nat will come and tell me, Francis will come and tell me that he's not talking to me. Then Nat will come and say, I don't have any problem with him. No, I'm okay, there's nothing wrong. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just being careful. I'm just being careful. So I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You are not okay. You are not okay. Because if you are okay, then it will show in your response. You see, bitterness is something that is very subtle. The moment you find yourself saying, I'm not bitter, what? You may be bitter. And the bitterness will be seeping through your words. If you talk to 5 people, you mention the same person to 5 people, that this person did this to me, to 5 people, you are bitter. You are bitter. The same story. Okay, so you tell this one, tell that one, but when you meet the person, you say, oh, there's nothing wrong. No, we don't have any issue. You are bitter. It's better to admit that you are bitter and you need to work on it than to assume that there's nothing. If you say peace is the absence of noise or the absence of noise, that's not peace. That's not peace. That's peace in the cemetery. There's no noise in the cemetery, but there's nothing good in the cemetery. How you get to. So you can attain an artificial peace in a relationship. That's why you don't brush issues under the carpet. It's going to explode. The time will come, it will explode. Whatever is a thorny issue, make sure you get a solution to it. Especially now that you are not married. You see, if it's a nagging issue, that issue is a nagging issue, like it's hanging, it's always coming, coming and going. Make sure you find a solution to it. And don't just brush it under the carpet. There are some people who think that because of the way they are, they can live with any situation or every situation. It's not true. It's not true. There are things that can get on your nerves. And if you don't take care, you explode. And the explosion comes when you have swept the thing under the carpet for a long time. One day it's going to explode. And if you don't take care, you will lose the relationship. So it's better to bring it out. Let's resolve it. Let's resolve this issue. If you can't deal with it, if it's like the thing worries you. See, not everything worries you. There are certain things that will not even hurt you. Okay? Because of maybe what you have decided to do in advance. Maybe it will not hurt you. But if the thing hurts you, then you must deal with it. Okay. Then negotiate. People also try to negotiate. Negotiation is you give up something to gain something. That one too is not good. Because that one, it has not dealt with the selfishness. It's still there. But for the sake of peace, you give up something to get something. Okay. The source of conflict is that you like taking too many pictures. So Ministry Sunday. Okay, so that's the source. Then I'll give this up. You also promised to do this for me. Now you have not solved the problem. I get to it. Yeah, you have not solved the problem. Okay, now, and then you are still on opposite sides of the fence. To resolve the issue, that's what we must do. And to resolve the problem, we must decide to find an answer together. An answer together. Okay. Now, how do you resolve? That's the most important thing. How do you resolve? The first one is establish the cause of the conflict. Know what is causing the conflict. So ask yourself, was it always like this? I mean, before we came to this point, what was the situation like? Okay, so what was the definite place or point that this problem started? You can trace it to either a place, an event, or something. You can trace it. Hello? You ask yourself, before maybe 2016, or let's say before Kodesh Mekra 2018, this person and I were on good terms. There was nothing, we were at peace. Okay, that means that the reference point now is Kodesh Mekra 2019. So you see that's the root cause. Find out. Usually, when I'm ministering to people, I ask them. For instance, I ask them, when did the thing start actually? Okay, when it started, do you remember what triggered it or how it started? Was it through a dream or what? The reason why I ask those questions in praying for people is to know how to go about the prayers, because and how to deal with the thing from the root. Because if the thing, you are just dealing with the pain, but how did the pain come about? You get me? Maybe the person fell and twisted like Pamela did yesterday, or maybe the pain is being caused by a problem in the internal organ. Okay, so then you don't just deal with the pain, you go to the root, the source of the pain. Then, this one is the difficult part, but you must do. Establish your contribution to the problem. The role you played. It's difficult, but you must be honest with yourself. Say, how have I contributed to this person's issue? Is there any role I played on my part? What happened? So for the person to behave this way. So establish the role you played or your contribution to the situation. It's difficult to do that because of our pride and our ego. But it's liberating. It's liberating when you can establish your liability and your how you are also responsible for the bad situation the two of you are going through. And by all means, you will have something to write down. After that, prayer. Prayer plays a very important role in conflict resolution. Prayer. Because, sometimes when you pray, one of the ways we deal with pain is pray. You discharge your pain in prayer. Sometimes you are going through pain that nobody will understand you. I mean, but you know that you are going through pain. You know it's true. People will not sympathize or empathize with your pain because they think you are strong. They think you must be able to endure. You are too old to be crying about this small pain. So what do? You discharge your pain in prayer. Pray in tongues till the pain is discharged. You know, you pray. The more you pray in tongues, you pray. And sometimes as you are praying and praying and praying and praying, and that's what Bible means by casting your cares upon him, for he cares for you. What it means is that people may not care for you, okay? But there's somebody who you can cast your cares. And it's not just a matter of saying, oh God, I leave it in your hands. No, you discharge crying. People, you see, that's why women, a man wants to fight and solve it. So men will stay in isolation, put on their thinking cap, and they are trying to find out reason. I will have to solve this problem. And when a man is showing his problem, he thinks he's displaying his weakness. And a man doesn't want to appear weak. Not before a woman, not before a fellow man. So it's difficult for a man to open up. I mean the typical man, not the reformed man, the typical male. Difficult for him to open up because he doesn't want to expose his weakness. Okay? Now, but you can also discharge your weakness in prayer. But because men don't have natural ventilation like women have. Because of that, there's a tendency that the man will be harboring things, and there are many men who are very lonely. Very, very lonely. You know, I was thinking about somebody's life. The person is dead. And as I was reflecting on the person's life, I said, this man was very lonely. Very lonely. You know, you can be very lonely because people will not expect you to have pain. For instance, it's like, let's say, pastors. Do you know people think that pastors don't have pain? Yes. Or if you're a pastor and you have pain, people say that you are. It's not good to have pain as a pastor. I mean, why we must come to you for you to help us. You are telling us that you are in pain. I mean, so what should we do? So what? I get me. So sometimes that's why sometimes some pastors die lonely. They because it's like, who are they going to share the pain with? And if the person too has problems in the home, it becomes worse. Because if you have pain, the person you can share your pain with is your spouse, is your wife. So what about if the person has problems in the home? It makes the whole thing complicated. And so the person becomes lonely both inside and outside. And people die because of that. So people are doing no ventilation. You must have ventilation. I was talking to somebody last night before I came for the watch night. And then she called me up to tell me something. I told her that, look, this thing that people tell you that when you get problems, don't tell anybody, they are trying to kill you. I said, you must tell the right person. I mean, if you are married and your husband is abusing you, and then your counselor told you that when you have problems in marriage, keep it to yourself. Try and solve it. Okay. So now this man is abusing you, beating you, and then when you come out, you wear a smile, a fake smile. Everybody know that everything is okay. One day, then you die. Then the man will marry another person. So I told her, I said that, look, don't if your husband says don't tell anybody, and the thing is killing you, it's a matter of life and death, you must tell somebody. And it even especially, you see, any abuser, if somebody is abusive or somebody wants to control you, he will put that thing in your mind. Let it be between the two of us. Be careful when your fiancé starts doing that. So when the person does something, you go and tell your pastor, say, hey, why did you go to report me? And you are reporting me, you are disgracing me. Be careful of that. Such a person, if he is not helped, is going to put you in a cage. And when he comes out, you have to fake your appearance. And then things are eating.